Okay. All right. Sorry. I have a good idea where I am. Okay. So, let me make sure. Yes. All right. Oshinoko. That's where we are. We're with Oshinoko. So, we are at episode, I think it's episode 16, 18, and 19. Yeah, 16, 17, 18, and 19. Okay. Oshinoko, right now, holy shit. That one is one that's like not only like a contender, but like one of the only shows that actually damn near might push out Kaiju Number 8 for me. Because, I can't cut. I don't know if I can cuss. But Oshinoko Season 2 brings it. First off, want to point out, the more I hear about this, the more I hear the goddamn opening for Oshinoko and how funky it is, just the more I enjoy it. That shit is fire. That shit is good. That shit is fucking snapping. I was on the train. That shit's good. It's real fucking good, man. This shit's awesome. I fucking love it. Like, it was genuinely a good opening. I am so goddamn in love with that damn opening because it's just that damn fucking good. What about MHA? I will at the end of the year, I'm behind. Like severely behind on MHA, which is why I haven't talked about it this season. Otherwise, I would talk about it. But I will do like an end of the year thing, which is not going to come for a while. But I plan on talking about MHA because I have some opinions. I have some opinions. I'm on season 6. Oh man, I think I'm on season 5. The last thing I remember from MHA was what was the? Oh my god! Last thing give me a second. Thing I remember from MHA. I think it was what was his name? Oh, when Endeavor was saving his son. No. They just did the invasion. They just started the invasion. And like, there was a couple of 6 points. Won't go into super spoilers because I know this has been out for a year, but like, how that all played out. So, like, that's why for me, I'm like, oof, I'm so behind on that. So I won't be talking about that anytime soon. But dude, what goes those hot? I mean, to each their own. Not a thing for me, but to each their own. I will not yick anybody's yum. Yick anybody's yum? Is that what you're saying? I will not yick. But Oshinoko season 6. I do gotta talk about that real quick. But give me a second. Ooh, Oshinoko season 6. Oshinoko season 2. That shit is so fucking good. It is genuinely one of it is up there for anime of the year for me. Like dead ass. 3 points that are coming out for this, right? Episode 16 is just a couple of days before the play actually happens. Arima, like before Arima, what's his name? Aqua. Arima brought Aqua to the director's house where she explained, and like Arima kind of connected the dots, and again, don't have heart, but it's safe to assume with the thought process that she has, Arima knows who Aqua is, or at least knows Aqua's history and what really after, which is interesting because in episode 16, one of the key points is that we actually get a conversation between Arima and Aqua on the balcony as Aqua is recovering and stuff like that. Aqua is sitting there saying like, oh yeah, no, I got some dark past stuff. It's like, oh yeah, well, try me. I am your girlfriend. Aqua sits there and says, like, let's say I was doing all this because, just, you know, hypothetically, of course, but like, he straight up just says, what if I was like to kill somebody? Then what would you say? And again, it does the one thing I love in anime, and that's into eyes, because eyes in anime are so fucking beautiful nowadays. Bro, when Aqua asks that question to Arima's fucking, hold on. Hold on. Akane, God, why do I keep doing? Fuck. Hi Dora, welcome back. Fuck, I keep fucking doing that. I keep fucking mistaking Arima. Because the Arima is not actually Arima. What do you call her? What's her fucking name? It's not Arima. I'm getting those two fucking confused. Because I'm fucking dumb and stupid. It's not. Should I look at timing on Demon Slayer? Man, I'm gonna be completely honest with you. Hit Jujutsu Kaisen instead. Watch Jujutsu Kaisen instead. But Jujutsu Kaisen is better than both of them. Her eyes go so dark. I'm talking about dark. I'm talking about she has just evil intention in her eyes. And the way she speaks is so different. It's so different than like any type of way she's talked in the show ever. Which, now that I think about it, it's a hint. It's a hint to the way that she actually is. Which, we'll get to that. But you just see this, like, I've only ever seen it in Aqua. Where there's like a darkness that comes over her eyes. And it's just like, oh, shit, okay. And that kind of scared me, I'm not gonna lie. But like, you see this darkness that comes over her eyes, and she's just like, I will fucking kill anybody for you. And it's like, even Aqua's like, you shouldn't talk like that. And I was like, why? Why shouldn't I? And like, how just going off being like, I would do anything for you. We are boyfriend and girlfriend at all. Even if it is acting, I do care about you a lot. And I just sat there, I'm like, oh my God, she might be just like more crazy than I thought she was. Akane might actually be more crazy than Kana, and that's not an exaggeration, honestly. Truthfully, it really is not an exaggeration. Over the course of episode 16, I also said I wasn't going to do these episode breakdowns because they were going to take hella long. Haha, silly me. But episode 16 of Oshinoko, season 2, it basically starts setting up the lines for what this battle of the plays is going to be. Where you have Kana, basically, it's weird because the lines are drawn in a weird way where it feels like there's one side where there's Kana, there's like the really good actor dude, and then there's the bad actor who was in the Sweet Home shit, and then there's Akane, there's Aqua, and then there's another actor from the La Leah production who's trying to hit on like this girl that Ruby's hanging out with, one of Ruby's friends. That the bad actor dude. First of all, I want to say this. They gave so much story to a character, I bet you if he never came back, no one would have thought of. But I love it. I love it because he had a redemption. Because everyone else was so... Okay, we'll get to that. Because he actually has an episode for himself. So we'll get to that. But like, there's like that stuff where like bad actor guy stops him from doing it. Being like, hey, you need to stop being a scummy little bitch. You need to start doing that. Kana and fucking Akane are having their battle of wits of like acting, stuff like that. The really good actor from the La Leah production, he just doesn't want to be shown up. He's like, oh, I'm giving it my all when it comes to acting, which is weird because I never noticed how much of a polar opposite he is to Aqua, who doesn't really do that type of acting. Again, we'll get to it because there's so much that happens. But episode 16, basically, no pun intended, sets the stage for these battles to happen. Episode 17 through 19 is nothing but them going through the play. And I didn't think we were gonna like actually see the play unfold because we saw that with the other productions in season 1, where we saw more of like the behind the scenes and we saw more of like how things are going off. Like we saw certain episodes and like the outcome and the backlashes of those, but we never really got to see like a full episode being recorded. Although to be fair, like I said, the way that production works is different. But with the plays, they're not just like, you know, playing a certain play or doing that. We're physically seeing the entire play out. I'm talking about there are good fucking chunks of this episode where there are actually good chunks of this episode where what do you call it? My neighbor's blasting music. Okay, they stopped. Okay, good. That's annoying. Blasting music. I know how annoying that could be, so I'm glad they stopped. Also, my bad. I should have read that earlier. but they are playing good chunks of it. Like, there's a point in the beginning where you just see it's the really good actor from the La La Lia production, and Kana, who I think is also... No! Kana part of Strawberry Productions. No, that's not the case. It's Akane, who was a part of the La La Lia Productions. Sorry, I'm getting my productions mixed up. But, funny how I can remember production names, but can't remember character names. Haha! But, like, those two are going at it, or, like, doing their, like, little scenes and plays. We just see the whole thing play out. There's, like, nothing there. We're just watching the play. And it's only in certain bits. So, episode 17, just basically, like, the entire play. There are, like, certain parts where, like, you see, like, the audience and certain directors be like, oh, you know, this and that, making their comments, and making, like, little notes. But it's going, like, it's doing, like, a little back and forth type of thing, right? Then, the episode starts revolving around the bad actor, which I think I wrote down his name. I need to see. I didn't write down his name. I thought I wanted to because after that, I actually liked him a lot. Let me see if I can find it. Is that actually him? He's called Melt? What the fuck? What the fuck? He's called Melt? That's his name? His name's Melt? I don't know me off so much. I was like, okay, Melt. All right, fucking, okay. All right, that threw me off. His last name is Narushima, so I'll go with that. That just threw me the fuck off. Holy shit. I don't know why. I don't know why that threw me off. That shouldn't have thrown me off, but it did throw me off. That's what threw me off. It threw me off a bit. Jesus Christ. But yeah, Narushima, he is actually really good. He's grown on me because what they basically do for episode 17 is half of it is basically the player, right? But the other half is Narushima and the other dude, because the other dude basically called him out for being a shitty actor, and he's like, listen, I know I'm not the greatest actor in my production, I'm far from it, but at least I can hold my own. At least I'm known for my acting. You're just a pretty boy who stumbled upon acting and is trying to half-ass it, so just try to not drag me down and put on a decent enough production. Which, I like the advice that Aqua gave him, where he was just like, man, I'm not like, I like super great acting, do you have any points? It's like, okay, well, instead of focusing on all of the acting, what you should be doing is focusing on parts that you know you can do and hyping those up super bad. Because, like, yes, people might not, like, you know, be super big on your acting, but if you could put your energy into things you are and skyrocket that's going to balance the shit out. Which, man, I'm not going to lie, the boy brought it. The boy brought the heat. Everyone was impressed. Like, you see it too, like, in the audience, everyone's just kind of like, oh yeah, this guy kind of fucking sucks, he's whatever, like, yada, yada, yada. And then it starts to shift, because he does a little cool little, like, actual twisting, where he's like, oh, he did the real thing from the manga. What the fuck? And even, like, the other actors, like, okay, I didn't know little bro had this in him. And then by the end of it, he changes the audience so much. It is genuinely heartwarming. Especially since they give the little backstory of just like, yeah, I was a pretty boy who didn't have to do much. I really didn't have to try to, like, get praise or what, because everyone just assumed that I was good enough to do it. And it wasn't until Sweet Home where I actually got, like, the gut punch of, oh, I'm not that talented. Oh, I'm not that good. Oh, I'm not actually as great as I thought I am, and realize that, like, I kind of have to redeem myself. I can't just walk. I can't just walk around like I have been, which I like that story. I like that actor of, like, and a person who was at the top, who really didn't have any, who seemed like he didn't really have any faults, having a fault, getting shit on by it, but like learning from it and trying his best and putting his all into it, despite how shit he is. Because it sounds like no matter how much he tried, he still was pretty shit. But he brought it, and I appreciate it. And I appreciate that. Episode 18 also caught me off guard. And episode 18 caught me off guard because what it basically did, what episode 18 basically did, was not... So, episode 18 is like, you know, the play keeps going, and one of the big things that we get is, like, the clash of acting between Kana and Akane. And, like, around, I think it was, like, either around the beginning of episode 16, they actually do, like, we do get, like, a bit of a note where Akane and Kana are passing each other, and there's not that hatred that there was there before, where it was a sense of just like, oh, I hate you, go fuck yourself. There wasn't like that. There was more of just like awesome, I finally get a chance to actually perform with you again. So then what it seemed like is that like there was some, I want to say like some form of mutual respect there, but when they have their moment on screen, you see like, they have their inner monologue where like Kana is like, oh, there it is, that larger than life acting, that acting where you gotta like, you feel like you gotta act in the spotlight. And this is where we start getting more of like their dynamics with each other, where Kana actually doesn't like Akane because her acting is so big and boisterous. It's just like, don't you understand? Like you feel like you want to be the biggest star in the room, but it doesn't be half that. And it feels like you're judging me through your acting, where you're thinking my acting is wrong. And like, the show has a really good way of framing it. And I think it's also due to how Akane is as a character, where she seems a bit more like on the softer side compared to Kana. Like on the surface, Akane definitely seems like a more introverted, sweeter type of person, and Kana is the one that seems like the more boisterous, the more loud, the more actual big voiced actor. But the play shows that Kana doesn't actually like the fact that Akane is boisterous and stuff like that. And so I thought it was gonna just play on like, play on that, where it's just like, I'm going to prove myself to you, like you look down on me, like blah 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 blah. But no, that's not what I thought it was. In fact, it goes back to the demeanor that Akane had with Aqua, where it does seem like Akane has this a bit more of a darker side to her, which you would assume she got sometime around like season 1, when the whole like suicide thing was happening with her. But no, this is younger, where we actually find out through a flashback that Akane grew up actually watching Kana as a child actor. And so while she wanted to like, see her and stuff like that, she would try her best to like put in the effort to actually like work up to getting more roles and stuff like that. Like her parents encouraged her, like, yeah, if you like it so much, you think she's good, you should like do acting. And so her parents encouraged her, she does all this stuff. And then there's a point where Akane is going in for like a trial. Oh no, going for like an interview. I forget what you call it. Oh, like a casting thing. And she runs into Kana. Well, before she runs into Kana, she runs into one of the producers of the show, who actually is talking to her, thinking that she's Kana, being like, oh, this is so tedious, I wish we didn't have to do these because we already paid to Kana for this, so it's just like a formality thing. And like the dude realizes and then looks over, it's like, oh, that's not Kana. And then Kana's walking out the other hall, it's like, oh wait, that's Kana. Oh shit. So he runs away, and Akane and Kana actually at a very young age is actually having a conversation where it's like, hey, what he was saying was a joke, right? That's not like real. Like you wouldn't do that, right? Like you wouldn't, in her words, I think he was like, you wouldn't take the easy route, right? And like, she's just like, so what if I did? It's a job. I could get it because it's a fucking job. It's like I hate people who try to imitate me because it's like, she was just like, I just hate it. Just like, get your own thing. So Akane actually has like a kind of not great view on Kana. And on top of that, her switching of acting and other things, Kana actually looks at very negatively. Because as we've kind of known, Kana's been someone where it's just like, so like they actually established this before, right? Where Kana used to be somebody who used to be like the center of attention, she used to be acting, and there were a lot of people who was telling her like, hey, you're not going to survive in the industry if you don't at least comply and try to work with people. And she more took that in the route of just doing whatever she's told. And so her acting became this like big boisterous thing to more of like a supporting piece. So like there are times where she would sit there, there were times where Kana would sit there and, she'd bring down her own acting to meet with the other actors. So the Sweet Home thing that they did was actually a really good example of that, where Kana would Kana came in as this like big name actor. But she brought down her own performance. That way she wasn't showing up any of the people, any of the little like famous other celebrities who weren't actors coming in. So she had to bring her stuff very, very much down. So everyone else was put up very, very much up. Because if you act around Kana and you're on that same level as Kana, that bolsters kind of how you're viewed in a sense. Akane does not like that. Akane believes that if you have the skills and you have the talent and you have the performance, you need to shine the brightest. Fuck what everyone else says. You're doing this for the love of it. You're doing it for the sport. And if you love acting, if you love that, you need to put 120% into it. So everything that you should do should have that same level of fucking energy. So it's interesting. I love what they're doing with this. It is the two industry differences, right? Of Akane's view of if you have passion, you need to show that passion. You need to do it as best as you can. And then there's the Kana difference of if you want to survive in this industry, you need to play ball. And that does mean sometimes you need to reel yourself back because a lot of people probably aren't going to like that. So it's that different dichotomy that I really fucking like. It's really, really, really fucking good. It's really fucking good, and I really like how they're fucking playing it because it is genuinely such a beautiful way they're playing it. And it sucks because when you're watching it, Kana and Akane, they are performing at the same level. They are doing that. And they're doing it and they're hyping it up. And I forget what the reason is, but there is a switch, right? Because both of them are performing, they're doing the best that they can, right? They're both putting 100%. But there's a switch in Kana for some reason where she takes us back, where she goes back to the back seat, where she's just like, that's right, I can't show up Akane. She's currently Princess Sayaka. That's a big role. I can't overshadow her. I need to back up so she shines more because that's what the play entails. She's thinking of the need of the play while Akane is just like, no, I need you at 100%. I want you at your best. Akane's sitting there being like, no, I want you on the same level as me. And Kana's like, that's not what the play calls for. That's not what the play called for, and I can't do that because that's not what we need right now. And so it ends in this very somber new mood where now the dynamic has changed, right? What we originally went into, where we thought it was like it was gonna go in as like a battle of acting and a battle of ideals and stuff like a battle of acting and a battle of ideals. It's now changed to Akane being like, no, you were there. You were right there. Why are you backing away? It's kind of one of those things like shonen comparison, because that's all I can talk about is shonen. It's like that moment where there's like a villain who wants the hero to fight out 100%, but they don't. It's one of those things where it's like the story of like the villain wants you to like put your all into fighting because they want to fight you at your best, but then you realize you really don't have to, and so they sat there and they're like, no, why aren't you giving me your all? This won't matter if you don't give me your all. And it's one of those things where it's like, I don't want to defeat you while you're taking a back seat. I want to defeat you while you're on front stage. Because if I defeat you now, this means fucking nothing. This means fucking nothing. I want to prove to you that I can be the better actor you are, but I need you to perform at the level that will, like, satisfy me. And it's sad because when you see that perspective, it's just one of those things where Kana just doesn't have it in her. She's been broken by the industry too many times to actually just want to do that, because the industry has told her that that is a bad thing, and that's what's so fucking sad about that entire dynamic. Now, I've already talked about this for way too fucking long because of that. Again, Oshi no Ko is such a good fucking show, dude. It's such a good fucking show. But what was it? Akane and Aqua, while they're doing their thing, they're like, okay. While like they're talking, she was just like, I felt it. She was right there, but she pulled back, and I don't fucking know why. And so now their goal on stage is like, okay, let's bring it to the spotlight with us. Let's put her front and center. And so it goes into the last episode that I watched, episode 19, where it is, what's his name? It is, it's Aqua and then the actor dude. I forget the actor dude. But the really good actor dude. And now this comes into like one of the more heartbreaking ones, which is both simple and complicated, right? where there's this great actor from the La La Leah production, where everything he does is emotional. Not a single drop of his acting is emotionless. That man puts it all. It's kind of like Akane in the sense where it's like, I give it my all and then some. Like, it's like Akane on crack, basically, when it comes to his acting. But Aqua's completely different. He's able to mimic good acting, but he doesn't put his emotions into acting. And so we get the scene where Akane's character dies, right? It's just, she's dead. And so, and before this, they're having their moment where even the dude's realizing, like, oh my god, this is so boring. There's no emotion in your acting. What is this? Give me more. Give me more of your acting. Don't give me this fucking bitch shit. I want to see you put emotion. I want to see you put love in your goddamn acting. And Aqua can't do it. Aqua cannot do it. Aqua can't muster it until there's the scene where Princess Sayaka is dead. And obviously beforehand, he couldn't do it because what he does is, he imagines, I and her death. And it gets to him. It gets to him a lot to the point when he has a panic attack, he passes out, he throws up. He gets into a lot. He gets into his feelings. He gets into emotion. And we even see him, minutes, possibly hours before the play even starts, he's still struggling with that. And so the director dude, it comes to us talking to the director dude, and it's like, okay, you have two options here. Either A, you have to persevere this. You have to get through it, and you have to find a way to process it. And Aqua says, realistically, there's not enough time for me to do that. And it's like, I realistically don't think I can do that. And so the director's like, well, there's only one course of action. Acting needs to be fucking suffering for you. If you want to elevate your acting, and if you want to grow, and you want to be better to those audiences, then what you need to do is you need to suffer. When you get that emotion, you embrace that emotion, you just let it go. Acting can't be fun for you anymore. Acting cannot be a fun thing for you anymore. Acting, you need to hate it. You need to fucking envy it. You need to fucking despise it. Because that's the only way you're going to get any form of emotion in this damn acting. And again, we saw a glimpse of this before, where we do see Aqua get into that state, where he's doing that. I forget if it was Kana or someone else, but we see him in a